So in previous class, we started with the discussion of introduction to digital signal processing, in which we discussed the block diagram related to DSP system. Then we came across what is meant by sampling process, and in that we had a slight discussion on what is meant by quantization. Then we took up an example and saw what is actually happening through a MATLAB code. So when we go for all the three conditions, that is undersampling, oversampling, and critical sampling or uniform sampling. So whether I'll be able to recover the signal or not, what happens. So this is what we had discussed. Then apart from that, we discussed discrete time sequences. So in which when you have a continuous signal, if you sample this continuous signal, say in this case x of t, with respect to sampling rate, that is a sampling frequency, what we are looking out for, uh, then we'll get a sequence which we term as a discrete time sequence. We get a signal which is termed as discrete time sequence. So wherein we can represent it as x of n into t, or in short, just for simplicity, we always represent it as x of n. Now this x of n is nothing but the discrete time sequence. Now when we replace sampling rate with sampling frequency, we can just simplify the equation in this form, that is a into cos of nt. So when we represent this, theta becomes the digital frequency and n can be in any range. Now since here what has happened is, since this is a periodic signal, right? So if I start from 0 and if I go on up to some particular value, after that it keeps on repeating. So that's why if I start from 0 and if I move up to n minus 1, after this, the next sample will be same as that at 0th position. So that is what it intends. That's why it is written in this form. But you might have seen that in some of the sequences, you write it as n is from minus infinity to infinity. It depends on what type of signal it is. Here, since it is a sinusoidal, it is a periodic signal. In this case, it turns out to be in that form. So these all things we had discussed. Then we came across another one thing, that is complex exponential sequence, wherein this can be obtained from a continuous signal itself again. So these are the discrete signals which are obtained from the analog signals after the sampling process. So then we discussed what is meant by periodic sequence. So in that, periodic sequence is nothing but a sequence which repeats itself. Say for previous example, the cos signal what we had seen, that is in the previous slide. So the x of t is a periodic signal in this case. When I take the samples, when I take the samples of the signal, I get this sequence. This sequence is also periodic since it repeats itself after n number of samples in this case, where n turns out to be the period of the signal. That is a capital N, I'm saying. Capital N turns out to be the periodic sequence. So this we had discussed, and another way to mathematically identify is if x of n is equal to x of n plus n. If this equation is satisfied, then the sequence can be termed as periodic sequence, where n is the number of samples which are present or the sequence period. And we discussed how we can obtain a frequency response, in which we came across the equation x of e raised to j theta. So when I use this equation, I'll be able to get the frequency response, and this will include both the magnitude and the phase representations of the signal x of n, or of the sequence x of n. It will contain both. So these all things we had discussed in the previous sessions. So moving forward, I think already you are aware of this one, that is discrete Fourier transform and fast Fourier transform. So first let us see what is DFT, how it is represented. Uh, if you remember, we represented using equation for DFT, wherein we have fiddle factor and other parameters. So as and henceforth, when we move forward, we'll be discussing these things. So now, generally, if you have a sequence, DFT is, you can just see the name, that is the discrete, and you are applying Fourier transform on this discrete signal. So the signal what you will be operating will be of discrete in nature. So discrete implies here. So that is discrete signal is represented as x of n. Now, when DFT is applied to this, when DFT is applied to this signal, we'll get another sequence which we term as x of k, which is called as DFT of the discrete sequence x of n. X of k is the discrete Fourier transform of the sequence x of n. Now, if I know, say, x of k, can I get back x of n? So I can achieve that also by using what is called as inverse DFT, inverse discrete Fourier transform. And one thing to remember in both these cases is